You know, every once in a while, a car company does something that makes you stop scrolling and actually pay attention. And right now, Mercedes-Benz is having one of those moments. We're not talking about a small facelift or a new color option. I'm talking about 5 cars that genuinely feel like they belong in a different era. Cars that are quieter, faster, smarter, and honestly, just more interesting than almost anything else on the road right now. So if you've been sleeping on Mercedes lately, I get it. But after watching this video, I think you're going to see why 2026 might be their biggest year ever. Let's get into it. All right, let's start with the one that started this whole new chapter for Mercedes, the CLA with EQ technology. Now, on the surface, it might look like just a sleek little sedan. But under that low, almost coupe-like roof, something pretty special is going on. This car is built on an entirely new platform called MMA, Mercedes Modular Architecture. And it's the first Mercedes to use an 800-volt electrical architecture, inspired directly by their record-breaking Vision EQXX concept. In plain English, it can charge insanely fast. We're talking up to 320 kilowatts of charging speed. That means in about 5 minutes, you can add 100 miles of range. In 10 minutes, over 200 miles. So basically, the time it takes you to grab a coffee on a road trip, you've nearly refilled the tank. That's genuinely different. And the range itself? The CLA 250 Plus officially claims up to 374 miles on the US EPA cycle, and in Europe, some tests have pushed it past 483 miles, starting from around $47,000. It slots right up against the Tesla Model 3. But here's what Tesla can offer. That unmistakable Mercedes interior, a grille with 142 light-up stars, and an AI-powered operating system called MB.OS that actually learns how you drive. Oh, and that drag coefficient? 0.20. That's one of the slipperiest shapes ever put on a production car. It's not just pretty, it's physics doing the heavy lifting. Now, if the AMG GT XX feels a bit far from reality, here's something much closer to what most of us would actually drive. The all-new Mercedes C-Class Electric. And this one matters a lot. The C-Class has always been the car that gets people into the Mercedes family. For the first time, it's practical, it looks great, and it just feels premium in a way that's hard to explain until you're sitting in one. And now, it's going fully electric, with no compromises. The C-Class Electric officially debuted on April 20th, 2026, and it's built on the same MB.EA platform as the new GLC Electric. First version out is the C404 Matic, twin electric motors. 483 horsepower, 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 4.1 seconds. That's as quick as an old V8 AMG C63. Range comes in at up to 472 miles on the US standard cycle, and in Europe, they're claiming up to 497 miles. Charging? 330 kilowatts. Add 199 miles in 10 minutes. But what really makes this car different is inside. You get the optional 39.1-inch hyperscreen. Yes, that's one continuous screen stretching almost the full width of the dashboard. Underneath that, a frunk. Legroom in the back has been significantly improved over older EQ models. And the whole car has been specifically designed so it doesn't look like a typical EV. It looks like a proper C-Class. Mercedes said they're done making EVs that look different just for the sake of it. From now on, the cars look like Mercedes. The powertrain is just the new normal. Honestly, that's exactly the right move. All right, change of pace. Because not everything about the future of Mercedes is about going electric. Some of it is about bringing back something that should never have gone away. The G-Class Cabriolet is coming back. And I cannot stress enough, this is a big deal. The G-Wagon convertible hasn't been offered to regular buyers since the early 2000s, and even then, it was incredibly rare. A drop-top G-Class with that iconic boxy shape, the flat windshield, the slab sides, it's one of those vehicles that makes people stop on the street. Prototypes have already been spotted testing in Austria and Sweden. Real cold weather, real roads, and what we've seen confirms a 4-door layout with a power-operated fabric soft top. It maintains the full boxy G-Wagon silhouette. You open the roof, and you've got one of the most recognizable shapes in automotive history, now with nothing between you and the sky. According to reports from March 2026, the US version will be an AMG G63 Cabriolet with a proper V8 engine. Limited numbers. Expected pricing well above the standard G550, which already starts at $155,000. Will it be expensive? Absolutely. Exclusive? Without question. But when's the last time any car, electric or otherwise, gave you V8 power, proper off-road capability, and open-air luxury in the same package? This one is in a category of one. And finally, the one that might have the biggest real-world impact of everything on this list, the Mercedes GLC with EQ technology. The GLC is Mercedes' best-selling vehicle globally, so when they finally go fully electric with it, it's not just a product launch. It's a statement about where the whole brand is heading. Built on the brand new MB.EAM platform, the mid-size version of their dedicated EV architecture, this GLC is genuinely built from the ground up as an electric car, not converted from a gas model, and you feel that difference immediately. At launch, you get the GLC 404matic, 483 horsepower, all-wheel drive, 0 to 62 in 4.3 seconds, range is up to 406 miles on the WLTP cycle, and it charges at up to 330 kilowatts, adding 186 miles in just 10 minutes. But here's what separates this from the previous generation of Mercedes EVs. It actually listens to what drivers were asking for. Physical scroll wheels are back on the steering wheel. The braking feel has been completely reworked. There's optional air suspension borrowed straight from the S-Class. And rear passengers now have significantly more legroom, plus a 120-liter frunk under the hood. Inside, the optional 39.1-inch hyperscreen is stunning. It genuinely covers most of the dashboard. And the interior can even be spec'd with vegan trim that's certified by the Vegan Society, which might not matter to everyone. But it shows how carefully Mercedes is thinking about who buys these cars now. This is the GLC that was always supposed to exist. And it's here. So 5 cars, 5 very different visions of the future. A compact sedan that charges faster than most people expect. An electric 4-door supercar that literally drove around the world. An electric C-Class that brings the brand's most beloved nameplate into a new era. A drop-top G-Wagon that feels like nothing else on the road. And an electric GLC that finally does the job the way it should have always been done. What strikes me about all of these is that Mercedes isn't just chasing headlines. They're making real decisions, keeping gas cars where it makes sense, going electric where it doesn't, and doing things like the G Cabriolet that remind you why car culture still matters. Which one of these has you most excited? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely want to know. And if you want deep dives into any of these individually, let me know and I'll get them made. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.